Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, our leader is 5. So that's happening. It's going to be about 10 years before he can... I forget what year they become not kids. Is it 16 in Vicky 3? I'm not sure. It's weird. Anyway, we'll soon be joined by having a child leader by Britain. Oh no, actually, the Prince Edward is not at all almost a child. Well, that's wild. So, we're building up a lot of stuff. It's a new session, clearly, in case you didn't notice. And something just occurred to me, which is, if I fold Bavaria into my... if I subjugate Bavaria, I might be able to... Oh, yeah. So what this should do, once I've got Bavaria as a protectorate, is it should fold them into the Confederation of the Rhine. So I actually, I should be targeting them for incorporation. I'm not going to get Spain or Portugal anytime soon, so let's go ahead and hit the button. Subjugate. Shazam. Cool. And then we expand the Confederation. Beautiful. And that folds them into the Confederation of the Rhine. And the Confederation of the Rhine becomes stronger, and Portugal withdraws from something else. Okay, we've still got our defensive pact and our investment rights. What else do you want? You don't want to give us a power block embassy. But what if I give you some other things? They might do it for investment rights in me. Let's do it. I've already got investment rights in them. 65% chance. What if we sweeten it with a little cash? Not that much. What if we sweeten it with a small amount of cash? Even just 2,000. This will get us 16. That'll get them up to yes. Let's do it. Excellent. So that's our power block embassy reestablished. Obviously our leverage is going down now, but it'll go up as time goes by. Because we did that whole subjugation thing. I slowed down my mandate progress. Well, that was a little dumb, but it is what it is. So how much cash are we getting from Confederation of the Rhine every week? A very solid amount, like 50k. Golly. This is good territory. Confederation of the Rhine, you're still technically a minor power, but you could be a major. If we continue to expand them, hwah, we could form them into a major power. Prussia's a major, but just barely. Austria is a great power still. But yeah. Confederation of the Rhine, what's your citizenship? You're still on national supremacy. I'm thinking about putting Switzerland in there. Shoving Switzerland deep in there. Now that I've done this, Sokoto, you're still an unrecognized regional power. I would love to get Sokoto and Ethiopia up to minor powers. But obviously I don't want to give up any more of my territory in Africa because of it. So maybe going after other smaller powers over here and folding them into Ethiopia is the play. Outer Hausaland, like Sokoto is already holding Hausaland, and Gobir and Bornu both have fragments of Outer Hausaland in them. So maybe the answer is that's where we go next. Bornu is just Bornu, and making the borders sensible would be the way to go there. So we would put Bornu in there too, and now Wadai is split between these three countries. So we got a lot of expansion here, and a lot of it can go to Sokoto. Their liberty desire is continuing to go down, and hopefully in good time we can turn them into a puppet. Let's just take a quick look at our subjects. Yep, nobody's high in liberty desire, so that's very good. In fact, Sardinia and Piedmont I could turn into a puppet right now, and I think I will. Reduce autonomy. Shabamzo. Reduce subject payments. Saving myself a little influence here. I could support the regime, but I don't want to because I need to keep my legitimacy high. Can I get more legitimacy anywhere? Not really. We're still basically maxed out. Obviously, I've now increased Sokoto's liberty desire by a little bit, but they're going down at a very healthy clip now. Their economic dependence on us is really extreme. So their liberty desire will go down pretty fast. And as I pass more states off to them, that's also going to help. So, let's go to... I want to eventually get both Bornu, Outer Houseland, and Bornu. What does it take for me to annex the whole country? 14 infamy. That's not that much. Oh my goodness, I've run myself out of construction projects. So, I've been thinking about this for a while. I think it's time to expand the armed forces. I want to establish the Army of Africa and, like, really establish. So, we're going to build up some infantry in Africa proper. Oh, I need one more to round off the uneven numbers. Uneven numbers, my weakness. Where have I got uneven numbers here? It's Wallonia. One there. That puts us at 35. For shrapnel artillery, let me see, I got 11. Let's throw in one more in Wallonia, and then we'll do... Wait, I actually need more to round them properly off. Sucks. Sucks to suck. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I torture myself in this way? Let's just go ahead and throw 5 and 5 in there. And then that'll be at 24, and that'll be perfectly respectable. So it'll be 35, 24, and 5. I gotta do one more. It's too much. This will slowly get us up to the Algerian French Foreign Legion thing. That'll get us going there. Actually, yeah, because I need 3 level 20 or greater barracks all over Algeria. So, that's the Army of North Africa. Now, the Army of West Africa is still kind of in a weird place, but they'll get an expansion as well. We'll just start building up 3 levels of infantry and another 3 levels of artillery. Army of East Africa. Let's just go ahead and double the size. And do we add Lancers? I don't think so. I think it's better to add more artillery. That should be fine. Now, the home armies. We're going to rename these. This is going to be the Army of Southern France. And this is going to be the Army of Northern France. Northern France. Army of Southern France, I capitalized the of, and you know how I am. So we'll set that. New mandate available. Excellent. And then the first field army we'll name the French Expeditionary Force. And that'll be fun. Now, I've got a new mandate available. So let me see. Getting colonial offices to 2 will get me extra colonial growth generation, which is very good, actually. I do want that. What does foreign investment 2 get me? Increase leverage, reduce cost for nationalization. That's not really that useful. Okay, alright. We're going with higher colonial offices. Shabamzo. Now, other military increases. I want to get the Army of Northern France balanced on units. So we'll do... that's where the unbalance was. Do I put them in Constantine? No. What I do is I have the Army of North Africa. I put 4 more in Constantine, and 1 in France, in Provence in this case. And then the Army of Northern France. Stupid for me to put it in Provence, but what else is new? 4, and that balances me out. And then we'll just do another, let's say, 10 infantry in Picardy. And then we'll do another 10 shrapnel artillery in, say, Maine-Anjou and Brittany. So let me see. So that brings this army up to 40, 25, and 5. It needs a little bit more artillery. Let's put them in Ile-de-France. So, 40, 30, and 5. That's 75 total. Army of Southern France is already at 10 Lancers. So, in the interest of making these uniform, we'll do 5 more Lancers. So now we're at 40, 30, and 10. Army of Southern France needs to be at 40, 30, and 10 as well. So we'll just go ahead and do that. I'm just putting these in kind of arbitrary locations. And then the French Expeditionary Force, I'm going to significantly increase in size from the get-go. We'll just put another 10 levels in a couple of different places for both infantry and artillery. Perfect. That'll be good. So this is a giant military expansion we're doing, but hopefully what this will eventually do is put us on par with the British in prestige. Although, I think to achieve that, we're going to need to achieve a similar increase in our fleets, and I know exactly how to do it. This fleet's trying to upgrade monitors to torpedo boats. Torpedo boats compared to monitors. Monitors are 20-30, extra blockade strength, convoy escort defense. Torpedo boats are 40-30, blockade strength, convoy rating efficiency instead. Yeah, torpedo boats are definitely better. So let's dock this fleet in France. We'll do the same with the Mediterranean Squadron. And then, let's throw some more monitors in here. Where's my uneven number? I got 1 naval base in Constantine. That's what's going on. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to figure out where that is. Can I just get rid of it from Constantine? I can't. Jeepers. Is there a sort function? Well, anyway. Alright, so we'll build them up to 5. Just to be sensible. I'll throw another 5 in Tunisia. And then we'll do, I think, 20 more. So 10 in Normandy, 10 in Poitou-Saintonge. And then we'll do a nice even 30 more ironclads. Languedoc, Aquitaine, Picardy. For the Mediterranean Squadron, we'll do half as much as that. We'll just do 20 and 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then for the ironclads, 20, 20, 20, 20. Which I mean 10, 10, but it's fine. Alright, so we're doing a massive army expansion. Really, really massive. But this is good. This is good. This will get done shockingly quickly. We've also increased the size of the Home Affairs Institution, which is giving us increased conscription rate. So I'm actually going to throw a few more conscription centers into production. Oh my gosh, I can't see them. Alright, here we I'm not going to worry too much about maintaining even numbers here, because it's conscription. What are you going to do? So that's 80 infantry. Let's go up to 10 cavalry. And we'll go up to 60 artillery. Wonderful. That should be sufficient for conscription. Belgium. What would you like? You would like trade privileges and a whole mess of fabric in exchange for a power block embassy and some ironclads. I wish to manufacture my own ironclads, personally. But 75% chance they'll say yes. Well, weird. I guess I'll just add in the iron. No, I want to manufacture my own ironclads. Let's see if they'll take it. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with having a power block embassy. They declined. I was like, I don't want your extra ironclads. And they were like, well, fine. We don't want your power block embassy. This is extremely funny. Hey. How about you give me a power block embassy in exchange for guaranteeing your independence? They don't want that. From not enough of an improvement on previously. Well, you said you wanted trade privileges. Wait a minute. We've got a defensive pact. I don't need to be unilaterally guaranteeing you. Although unilaterally guaranteeing you does give me leverage, I think. Yeah, it does. So between these two, I'm getting a lot of leverage. How is leverage over Belgium looking? It's looking pretty alright. Particularly with cohesion back up. Where else have we got the ability to generate some leverage? I could do some stuff in South America. What about Japan? Japan's a minor. I could make a lot of money getting investment rights in Japan. Hey, you. Let's draft a treaty. So, investment rights, power block embassy, guarantee independence. What if I pay for it with money? Nice, even 5,000. It doesn't get them quite high enough. What about 7,000? That might be enough. 87% chance. Let's do it. Suckers. Relations with Borneo damaged. Well, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty clear about what the fate of Borneo will be eventually, so I'm not really worried about that. In fact, if I annex them right now, well, no, I'm still a little. That'll put me over my infamy limit, and I don't wish to be over my infamy limit. We're building up a huge number of naval bases and whatnot, so let's take a quick look at our market and see how we're looking for military supplies. We're just fine on small arms. Ironclads are still a little wonky. Ammunition's fine, but a little bit expensive. And we got some places that are low in market access. So, let's deal with that first. Into the top. Where was it? Here. Ménage. Railway already being built, but we'll build some. Organization, excellent. Franche-Comté, was this another place where there was a market access shortage? Almost. Build one up. Lorraine, was it? Savoy? Alright, I'm gonna go back to the market screen. Nope, it wasn't. Oh, it was Picardy. Alright. Throw 2 in at the top there, and then Bavaria has an infrastructure shortage. That'll get sorted out eventually, but it's nice to build railways. Give them a little bit of a buffer to play with. me see. So, we've built a bunch of barracks and naval bases, and our prestige is not... It's slowly increasing. It's not really overtaking Britain in any meaningful way, though. You have an 8th French army somehow. I can safely get rid of that without a problem. We're doing fine on command capacity. French expeditionary force is still increasing in size. Let's give this guy a promotion. He is reckless. That might have been dumb. Reduced recovery rate. I don't like reduced recovery rate, but he'll be fine. Army of Northern France, we're still a little bit over our limit in terms of things. Oh my gosh. Army of Southern France is close as well. Army of Southern France is only at 20. You know what? We'll do 50, 30, 10. That's what we'll do. And then the Army of Northern France will get them up to 50 as well. Japan colonized Micronesia. Cool. British Raj is going after Macron, or maybe Macron after the British Raj. It doesn't really matter to me, though. No consequence to me. How close are we? Oh, we're very close to malaria prevention. And we've got enough capacity to increase the institution to level 4, which will be really nice. How close are we to getting another mandate? We're making new mandates at a good clip. We got 2 minor power members and 2 unrecognized regional power members. Who are our minor power members? I know Confederation of the Rhine is one of them. Ethiopia and Sokoto are unrecognized regionals. Sardinia, Piedmont, are you a minor? You're a minor. Excellent. Do I give you knowledge sharing? I don't think so. Police brutality. Well, I got the end of spring event. You've seen that before. I don't need to worry about that. Police brutality. The use of extreme force is becoming increasingly common among police officers in Savoy. The working class and the socially conscious are rallying against the police as an institution. Scarcely a week passes without their committing some offense which disgusts everybody but the magistrates. Boys are bruised by their ferocity, women insulted by their ruffianism, and that which brutality has done, perjury denies, and magisterial stupidity suffers to go unpunished. Police brutality is becoming one of our most venerated institutions. We cannot tolerate this behavior. Happier rural folk and intelligentsia. Reduce law enforcement investment by 1, or the use of force is warranted. Happier armed forces and petite bourgeoisie. Lower stardom pops more radical. I'm going to go with the second one. Shabamzo. Now, Suez Canal is still working on being created. All these other railways are getting on towards finished. Do I expand my military more? Where am I now with military? 510 professional battalions, compared to Great Britain's 491. I don't know if I necessarily need a standing army larger than that, but they've got a ton of flotillas. Our GDP is also finally higher than theirs. Our population is number 3 in the world after China, but we're inching towards Russia, which is pretty impressive in my humble opinion. I think the next thing is an increase in the size of the government, actually. Can I get these businesses more productive by using tools? Doesn't seem so. Unfortunate. What about these ones? Water tube boiler? You just think you'll be unproductive? Let's find out. Nope. Hand assembly is better for now. Oh, right. We got vulcanization, so we've got machine steel tools. Hold on. This calls for some rubber. We're going to go crazy with rubber. Absolutely buck wild. Where are my rubber plantations? Do I genuinely not have rubber plantations? That's very funny. Resource. Gold mines. Oh, Brunei. Well, fuck it. We'll build them. Rubber plantations. Here we go. So, let's just build. We got quite high capacity. And we're going to rubber max. Friends, we're just going to have so much rubber. Can we build some in Ethiopia? We can. And what this is going to do is allow us to go to machine steel tools. The Devil's Railroad. We're having another one of these. Workers on the railroad in eastern Mali are dying in droves due to the harsh malarial conditions and the extreme demands placed upon them. Every mile is marked with gravestones, every track laid in blood. The malady and the scorching heat blister our bodies. We pave the road to hell with our lives. Full steam ahead, extra mortality of laborers in construction, or this is too high a price to pay, reduced construction efficiency. Full steam ahead! Low organization and some armies. There's malaria prevention. Right away, we're going to start colonial affairs growing. Joining the scramble for Africa. The Kingdom of France's growing colonial empire in Africa, along with the new means to prevent malaria, has made us a serious contender for colonial control of the continent. When I see this continent, I see a raw, unworked material from which anything could be carved. But as often as when working with raw materials, mishaps are inevitable. Something breaks, blood is spilled. The Kingdom of France isn't so squeamish as to let a little bit of blood get in the way of ambition, are we? Bring out the maps and strategies. Alright, so, let's look to our fleets. Escadre du Nord needs, this guy needs a promotion. Several, really. He's quite old. Let's throw another fella in here. Let me see. Augustin Bouet de Lapeyre. He seems good. He's a reformer, aligned with the armed forces, experienced naval commander, innovative dockyard organizer. He seems good. I can't wait to find out what massive military mistakes he made historically. And then Escadre de la Méditerranée is continuing to increase. We'll just give this guy a promotion. We're going to need another guy in here soon, but not too soon. Alright. Getting down to the point where I can annex Borneo and go beer. Hey, we got standard of living up to 15. That's wonderful. First round of rubber plantations is getting built, so that's nice. The gold mines in Brunei and West Borneo are taking forever, but that's to be expected. Railway in Bavaria is almost done. We've been spending a lot on that, but that's okay. Gold reserves have never been higher. Again, we are spending money, but the investment pool is spending... Oh my gosh, even the investment pool doesn't have the money to sustain this level of construction. We're bananas. We're so buck wild. All right, let's get started converting over our... Are our rubber plantations on the higher method? Where are they? They're down here, and they're not. Automatic irrigation, go. Because we are going to need some tooling workshops converted over to machine steel. So, what does that do to tools? Tools are very affordable now. And what about rubber? Rubber is... Oh, we're importing a lot of our rubber. Well, this number is going to frickin' go up as time goes by. We're building very, very rapidly. We got another round about to come online. And here is the Hell on Earth event, which we knew we were going to get. Because that's what happens when you do yourself a rubber plantations. Lorraine's next for machine steel tools. Anyway, Hell on Earth. Workers at the rubber plantations on the Windward Coast are being severely mistreated. Mutilation has become a common punishment for perceived failures. They went on to declare, when asked why they had fled, that they had endured such ill treatment at the hands of the government officials and the government soldiers in their own country that life had become intolerable, that nothing had remained for them at home but to be killed for failure to bring in a certain amount of rubber, or to die from starvation or exposure in their attempts to satisfy the demands made upon them. We cannot slow down production, increase mortality, or launch an inquiry into the conditions of the plantations, reduce throughput. I'm going to do the second one. Reduce throughput is fine. I got 1 million of these plantations. Let's continue to upgrade some of these places' machine steel tools. Oh, right. The ones in Wallonia I actually do control. Franche-Comté, Provence, Well, berries, a million of them, so let's keep an eye on the market before we go there. Alright, demand is continuing to increase, but so's supply. We're on free trade, so we can't make any changes to that, but that's good. So, let's swap the ones over in Orléans-Berry. Western Mali, all these are small tooling workshops. Platinian mass immigration, excellent. Aquitaine's another large turnover. Supply is still holding strong, so let's swap Aquitaine. Tunisia. Rennes du Nord. Let's continue to watch. Let's continue to watch here. So we're now starting to overrun our supply. How many more pages of rubber plantations have we got? Not that many, but still plenty. So let's queue in a few more. We'll just go down from here. Easier to do that. They're not in the plantations. They're down below logging. Yeah, we only got 9 more under construction right now. So, let's max out Kenya, we'll max out the Rift Valley, and we'll max out Equatoria. And what about in Sokoto? Let's build a few. And by a few, I mean 10. Alright. Keep us going here. Slide on back up to the tooling workshops. We're almost at the bottom. And by almost at the bottom, I mean we're making decent progress. Let me see. Many of these are 2 weeks away from completion. It's Auvergne-Limousin, which is the huge one that we need to be conscientious of. Alright, let's do it. I swear I'm going to end the episode at some point. We're getting real close, but I think we can go just a little bit longer. Let me see. We got another round finishing this week. Poitou Saintonge. Swap over. Alright, these are the last ones. Excellent. And a Herero diplomatic play against us. Fascinating. Just realized I don't have an army of South Africa. But I've got an army of West Africa, and that should be sufficient. So, as you can see, now that we've got malaria prevention, our colonization speed is rapidly increased. I'm actually going to throw a few more colonies in other areas in the Pacific, just because these we're going to be able to knock out really fast. These are not going to interrupt our colonization speed even a little. We're the first to get malaria prevention, which means hopefully we're going to be able to lock all that area down in a pretty short time. We are, to a certain extent, interrupting our head start in Africa, but it's okay. Our colonization speed is really, really high. And with these, with our colonial offices too, providing us with extra colonial growth generation, and our institution almost at level 5, we should be very, very capable of maintaining a strong colonial presence. No places that are low on governing capacity, so let's simply increase wherever governing capacity, tax capacity is the lowest. I am going to put in some labor-saving methods in my mines eventually, but not today. I'm going to put all these at the top. Some in Brittany, some in Burgundy, and one in Poitou-Saintonge, a couple in Ménanjou, 3 in Aquitaine, 3 in the French Low Countries. That should be fine. We'll do one in Franche-Comté. That'll be good. That'll be very nice. We'll get these government buildings built pretty fast. Again, cash flow is just absurd. The investment pool is chock full, and I can of course leave construction to the investment pool entirely if I wish. So I'm feeling extremely confident in my ability to... Why are you low organization? This area not have a port? They've got a port. What's wrong with you? Too many special units. Gosh dang it. Stupid barracks. Rubber boom. The recent expansion of the rubber plantations in Volta has yielded extremely promising results. The Kingdom of France threatens to lead the world in rubber production. The question is not what can be done with rubber, but rather what cannot be done. There is no end to its potential utilization, and it will surely become the foundational material of the modern world. Our finest minds are developing new applications for this versatile material. We need more rubber. Extra migration traction and rubber plantations throughput in Volta. So, that having been said, that is all the time we got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.